there, friends. Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and Lala and I are here today to talk to you about a book series that I think you probably have heard of before, and if you haven't, then that's even more exciting because then you're going to learn about it today. But basically, the reason I want to talk about this particular series is because the last book in the trilogy just came out a month ago, and because of that, I figured, let's talk about it. Is this series worth reading? It's been getting a lot of hype online in a lot of different places. And sometimes that can be a double-edged sword, right? Sometimes that can lead you to a series that is really awesome that you may not have heard about otherwise. But sometimes series can be overhyped. That is definitely a thing, especially when it comes to series that are featured predominantly on social media spaces like BookTok and BookTube. So I wanted to go over whether this series is something that I think is worthwhile reading, or if you're better off spending your time somewhere else. So the series that I am talking about is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. So this is a YA romantasy series. It's heavier on the fantasy. The romance is definitely there, but I think it leans a little bit more towards the fantasy than the romance, at least in the first book. So Powerless is the first book in the trilogy. The second book is called Reckless. And the third book, which just came out, is called Fearless. There's also a smaller novella that takes place after the first book that you can get as well. I don't have it with me, so I can't show it to you, but it is worth reading. It's not necessary to the plot of the whole trilogy, but it is definitely worth reading. So let's talk about it. Powerless. So this, like I said, this book series has been getting a ton of attention online. When the first book in the series came out, it started to get a lot of hype, and it's just been building and building and building over the last year or so since these books started coming out. So what is this series about? So this series is set in a world where people called elites have different magical powers. And if you don't have any magical powers, so these powers are a gift of this curse that ran through the country at one time. If you don't have any powers, you're called an ordinary. And basically in this country that they live, the city, basically, if you're an ordinary, you're outcast. You are illegal. You are not allowed to live there because they feel that if you are an ordinary, you're like bringing the rest of the elites down, and they don't want you anywhere near them. So there's a lot of prejudice for ordinaries in this world. So our main character, her name is Peyton. She is an ordinary, but her father has taught her to hide it really well, and she poses as a psychic, somebody that can read other people with power. She doesn't, but she basically is a lot like Sherlock Holmes, if you've ever read any of the Sherlock Holmes original books or any of the remixes and reboots that have come out. Sherlock Holmes may seem magical at times by how he is able to look at something and pick it apart and know all these things about it, and it's really just the power of observation, and that is what Peyton uses to fool everyone around her that she has this power of psychic, because she knows if she doesn't, she's going to be in big trouble. So one day she actually accidentally saves one of the princes. And because of that, she gets thrown into this, basically this competition called the Purging, where all these different elites are showing off their powers and fighting to the death. So now this puts Peyton obviously in a really bad predicament because she doesn't actually have any powers. She's just faking it. So now she has to fake it, not just for herself and everyone around her, but the whole city, which everybody is watching this purging ceremony. Not to mention the fact that the prince who she saved, named Kai, they start to develop feelings for one another. He is also an enforcer. So that means that he is somebody who is like an elite guard, and he is able to siphon powers off of other people and use them. And he's very, very dangerous, but they start to have feelings for each other. So this is the first book, like I said, Powerless. So at the end of the first book, I'm not going to tell you what happens if you haven't read it yet, but something really crazy happens, okay? The second book involves Peyton on the run and Kit pursuing her, and that is a lot of what is going on in the second book. And the third book is Peyton back at the castle with Kai, the enforcer, and also with Kit, who is the other prince, the crown prince, and basically trying to survive there. So let's talk about it. What is so intriguing about the series? Why should you or should you not read it? So first of all, I will just say I absolutely love it. It was not on my radar until I started hearing like a lot of stuff about it and a lot of hype, and I thought I would give it a chance, and I fell in love with it like almost immediately. I thought it was very wonderful. So the first good thing about it that I want to share, and I think this is important, is that it's a trilogy and it's done. Okay, so the last book just came out about a month ago, like I said, so you don't have, there are definitely cliffhangers, especially after the first book. I feel like the end of the first book has a huge cliffhanger, and that's okay because all 3 books are out now, so you don't have to worry about it. You can binge all 3 of them if you want in a weekend. That's always a big thing for me when I'm getting excited about a series. Secondly, I really love the characters. I thought that Peyton was really cool. She was a very strong female character. I really loved Kai and how conflicted he was between his feelings for Peyton versus his loyalty to the crown and his family. And Kit, the crown prince, was a character that I thought was impeccably done, because not only does he have a lot more pressure on him about his family and everything like that, but there's a lot going on with him under the surface as well that we learn about as the books progress. So the characters are fantastic. They're amazing. And the writing is really great too. I did not think that this was just like a throwaway, you know, hot for 1 minute and now nobody's going to care about it in the future. No, I think that this series has long-lasting potential. I think that people, you know, down the road will be like, oh, I remember this series. I want to go back and revisit it again. It's a solid series. It really is. It's one that I'm really happy that I read. I love it. I'm probably going to return to it again because I really enjoyed it. I think it's probably one of the best romantasy series out there for young adults. That focus, you know, more on the story and the fantasy and the relationship building between the characters, versus any other like stuff that you might see in adult series like spicy scenes or whatever. So it's a really solid series. I loved it. I think you will love it too if you're a fantasy fan or a romance fan, or you're just looking for a really good series that has high stakes, is fast paced and really good writing. Check out Powerless. Well, that's what we've got for you guys today. I hope that this series sounds really awesome, and maybe it's one that you haven't heard of before and you want to give it a shot, or you have heard of it and you just haven't had a chance to read it yet. If so, these books are all available at Farmington Community Library, so you can find them all there. And thank you so very much, my friends, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.